You no longer instinctively await kindness arriving on quiet feet. It isn't that you've soured or turned hard. It's that a long line of letdowns has trained your chest to tighten first, and only later dare to wish. You've practiced the art of dropping your expectations before life can drop them for you. You've learned to label things, okay, before they ever get the chance to fall apart. You've grown used to muffling your own delight so the silence that sometimes follows won't sting as much. Darling heart, that armor you wear did not appear out of thin air. It formed slowly, forged from concrete experiences. From assurances that thinned into excuses. From people who seemed genuine until the mask slipped. From plans that shimmered and then evaporated. From doors that looked like they were opening but quietly swung shut. Beloved soul, I understand what repeated disappointment carves into the nervous system. It makes the unexpected feel threatening. It trains the heart to search every offering for a hidden catch. It turns even promising news into something you hold with 2 fingers, at a distance, waiting for proof it is safe. That is why I am choosing such gentleness with you right now. What is coming will catch you off guard, but not by shattering you. Not by yanking your feelings up and then dropping them. Not by dangling a high and then slamming you back down. It will be a different kind of surprise, one that arrives quietly, then keeps revealing itself as softer, kinder, truer than your fear said was possible. You have poured so much effort into anticipating the next hurt. You have become adept at spotting potential problems in every new chapter and calling that constant scanning wisdom. Sometimes it really was wisdom. Other times it was self-protection dressed up in wise language so it could stay unchallenged. There is a difference between clear-eyed discernment and living as if loss is the only outcome. Discernment notices without panic. It pauses, listens, asks real questions. Expecting loss, though, smears everything in gray before the first word is even spoken. It does not allow for the possibility that something might appear without a hidden blade. I am not asking you to become gullible, or to throw your caution in the fire, or to deny what you have already learned. I am gently loosening the conclusions that settled in you when you were still bleeding. Not every open path leads straight into hurt. Not every gentle presence is temporary. Not every beginning is a disguised repeat of the last ending. What is on the way may not look like the picture your mind painted of. Good. That mismatch is part of the gift. It may arrive without dramatic entrances. Without spotless surfaces. Without the shiny, overwhelming intensity that usually hooks a hungry, anxious heart. At first, you might almost ignore it because it won't come in the old costume of immediacy and chaos. You have often equated intensity with value, the instant chemistry, the overwhelming magnetism, the frantic sense that everything must be decided now. Yet what is meant for you may carry a different texture, cleaner, quieter, more grounded, less noisy in your head. This new thing will not insist that you trade your peace to keep it. It will not demand that you dismiss the signals in your own body. It will not push you into obsessive analysis of every tiny interaction. It will not grow stronger by confusing you. That unfamiliar ease might feel suspicious at first. You are used to passion that comes bundled with strain. But genuine goodness does not need chaos as proof of depth. What is truly nourishing calms more than it agitates. It leaves room. It lets your heart stay here in the moment instead of always crouching, ready to absorb the next blow. Because you have walked so long with tension as your companion, a calmer good may seem too simple, too quiet, almost shallow. Do not confuse quiet steadiness with emptiness. The deep river does not always roar. The great twist may be that what suits you now does not slice you open before it starts to heal you. That real care can show up without strategies or games. That clarity can exist without constant pressure. That kindness can still be present after the early glow fades. That peace and affection can stand side by side without canceling each other out. If this touches parts of your story that involve another person, listen carefully. I am not pointing you toward daydreams that never touch the ground. I am not entertaining your longing with hazy promises. I am speaking of a bond, an opportunity, a path that honors who you are becoming. Something that doesn't require you to betray yourself just to keep it. You already know too well what happens when something sparkles so brightly it blinds you to the cost. You know the bone-deep tiredness of clinging to potential, while your inner calm slowly drains away. You know the disorientation of being desired but not cared for well. You recognize how easy it is to stay tethered to a dazzling, maybe, while pretending not to see the harmful. Actually, that is why what surprises you next may not be what glitters. It may be what stays. What feels safe enough to unfold in its own time. What does not demand constant reassurance or performance. What allows truth to sit in the open air. This is bigger than romance. The unexpected good might be an opportunity that seems smaller than your dreams once were, and yet fits you in a way the bigger things never did. It might be a friendship that quietly becomes a place of shelter. It might be a direction you nearly dismissed because it didn't feed your old ideas of success. It might be a healing moment hidden in an ordinary conversation that somehow reaches a place that years of striving never touched. You are used to scanning the horizon for anything that resembles your previous hopes. You assume, if anything good is coming, it will probably wear the costume I already imagined. But goodness has a habit of entering from side doors you never thought to watch. That sideways arrival is part of what makes it feel so startling. I am not trying to bewilder you. I am widening the frame so you do not mistake your own script for the only possible answer. If you cling too tightly to one imagined form of relief, you might walk right past the gentler gift that comes another way. What approaches you may also astonish you by what it awakens, or quiets, inside. You might notice your breathing ease. You might realize you're not mentally rehearsing every disaster that could happen. Your laughter may return with less effort. Your thoughts may stop spinning between, "This is wonderful," and "This will ruin me." Pay attention to that. Learn to notice what makes you feel more whole, not just what sets you on fire. Do not only track the spark, the craving, the part of you that feels flattered or chosen. Attend to whatever leaves you more honest, more grounded, less likely to abandon yourself. Notice what doesn't ask you to contort, to chase, to shrink, or to put on a constant performance. Sometimes the biggest revelation is realizing that what is meant for you does not feel like a battlefield. It can require courage, yes, courage to be honest, to unlearn, to step out of the familiar grooves. But it will not feed on your self-erasure. It will not deepen the split within you. You have been trained by years of scramble and strain to associate importance with tumult. If it doesn't shake you, it must not matter, right? Yet often what matters most arrives with a steady weight, like soft rain that doesn't make a spectacle of itself, but quietly soaks the dry places. That is why you are being invited to release the belief that only the dramatic carries meaning. Drama can fog clear seeing. Intensity can twist old hunger into a story of destiny. Urgency can make you override what your inner wisdom already whispers. What is truly right for you may feel more settled than sensational. Not dull, settled. There is a crucial difference. When something gentle appears, fear might pipe up. This calm can't be real. If I let myself care, the hurt will be worse. Better not expect much, that's safer. I see that fear. I don't despise it. I know exactly where it learned its lines. So there is no scolding here. Only an invitation. Let caution be a thoughtful gatekeeper, not a prison warden that never allows tenderness through. You are allowed to move at a human pace. You are allowed to observe actions over time, to check for consistency, to remain awake without turning to stone. That is not cowardice, that is wisdom growing roots. The shift coming your way is not designed to knock you flat. It is here to quietly prove that the plot you've known is not the only one available. Your old story told you that every good beginning fades into neglect. That your needs are inherent. Too much. That foggy communication is the norm and lucidity is rare. That gentleness must be earned by overfunctioning. Those sentences carve deep paths in you. Now, new lines are being traced, that warmth and health can coexist. That steadiness can be just as beautiful as intensity. That honoring your limits does not dim your worth. That anything truly meant to grow does not need lies or confusion to keep breathing. Resist the urge to define the surprise ahead of time. Instead, practice recognizing what carries a certain inner cleanness. It might not shout for attention. It might not impress many people. It might not look like the blessing you once pictured. But inside, it will feel like relief, not the wild rush of escape, but the unwinding of long-held tension. You have lived so long ready for the next injury that simple relief may feel suspicious at first. You might catch yourself waiting for the catch, the bill, the punishment. If that happens, be kind with yourself. Your heart is learning a tempo where care lingers instead of vanishing, where peace does not always demand that you pay with pieces of yourself. You are not being asked to throw away discernment or slap the word good on everything that glitters. The invitation is smaller and truer. Stay alert to what is clean, to what doesn't tangle you in knots, to what deepens rather than erodes your inner peace. Be candid with yourself about what feels distinctly different from the patterns that have hurt you before. You may find that the real surprise is not only what arrives, but how you meet it. You have changed more than you give yourself credit for. You are no longer the person who confused constant instability with passion, pressure with purpose, or mere attention with real care. There is more patience in you now, more self-respect, more capacity to pause and choose. That growth will matter when the new thing stands at your door. What once would have fascinated you but drained you may now feel misaligned. What once seemed too plain might now feel like a deep exhale of rightness. That is not settling. That is you recognizing real nourishment instead of chasing intensity for its own sake. If what comes next is gentle and steady, do not push it away only because your muscles are more used to bracing than relaxing. If it continues beyond the deadline your fear has set, resist the urge to sabotage it just to feel in control of the ending. If it meets a true need in you, do not belittle that need or the gift that answers it. There are good things that do not require pursuit. There are honest connections that do not demand decoding. There are true gifts that do not need to be exaggerated to matter. Your future does not have to mimic your old pain. The greatest astonishment may be discovering that, while life will never be flawless, it can become more straightforward, kinder to your nervous system, less crowded with confusion, more open to truth. The parts of you that limp with old hope have not been forgotten. The injuries that taught you to flinch have not been ignored. Those places are being tended, even as what comes next is prepared. You can lay down, for a while, the exhausting work of predicting every way something might fail. You can rest from rehearsing elaborate escape plans from blessings that haven't even arrived. You can give your mind a break from assuming that any calm will be brief. There is no requirement to be absolutely sure right now. Just leave a little space inside you for a surprise that mends more than it mars. When it comes, you may recognize it not by fireworks but by the way you are not forced to disappear yourself to keep it. By the way you can stay honest. By the way your body is not constantly tensed for the next blow. By the way your spirit is allowed to stay fully in the room, settled, awake, and finally, quietly safe enough to hope again. There is a kind of goodness that does not confuse you or demand that you second-guess yourself. My child, I am not dangling illusions in front of your tired heart. I am speaking to the anxious place in you that has forgotten the shape of genuine mercy when it draws near. What is on its way will not require you to shrink your integrity, abandon your peace, or fracture your wholeness. It will arrive quietly, and you will be startled only by how naturally it belongs, especially when compared to what you endured before. So stay close to the stillness within. Stay with the inner witness that can tell the difference between mere turmoil and true, unfolding life. Stay with the place in you that recognizes gentle goodness without needing noise, spectacle, or intensity to make it feel real. Stay with the part of your soul that is slowly discovering that new does not always mean dangerous, and change does not always mean loss. Beloved, the appointed moment will meet you in the simplicity of an ordinary day. And when that moment comes, may your heart be tender enough to register what is genuinely good, clear enough to discern what is faithful and enduring, and settled enough to open itself to what heals instead of harms. Until that time, I remain here with you, unhurried in the face of your hesitation, compassionate toward every doubt and every wondering, and near to that hidden place in you that is, little by little, learning how to be astonished by an untroubled peace. Amen. Dear family in faith, each word offered here is shaped in prayer and carried by devotion. We continue to serve in this way with deep gratitude and steady trust. If you sense a desire to walk alongside this ministry, you will find the link for support in the description and again in the comments section below. May the Lord Himself direct your steps, strengthen your spirit, and pour out blessing over you.